This video, I assume that you probably or maybe are new to drifting in Beam, or if you aren't new, you are just looking for a little bit of tips, refreshers, or any advice. So without further ado, I wanted to start this video with just a stock 200BX because I think it's kind of a good platform. It's got an open diff right now, and stock suspension, no angle, and I'm not even saying go drive this car, but I think it's a really good place to start. And I'll go through a few reasons why. So first step when you're going to do is I don't even go to the engine at first. I go straight to the coilovers, front and rear. That's just going to get the car much more planted, a little bit more in the corners. I go straight for the angle because I don't think the stock Beam angle, the drift angle in my opinion, and I don't do power steering, just personal preference. Weld the diff, and then I go in here, and this is a big one, I just go to a 444, and then this might be a little controversial as well, but I really recommend at least giving this a shot. I convert back to 4-lug, and I choose, because of this, maybe a little bit smaller of a wheel. And this is just for like a very low power car, so let's just choose these bad boys. Oh, those look horrid. Try again. Alright, after much deliberation, I chose these Watanabes in 14x7 with a 190 rear. And my emphasis with this whole video really is not necessarily to get you, super, in depth of the car that's going to be perfect and look amazing right off the bat, but kind of my bigger intention is just to get you started. And so then just for my own personal sanctity, I don't know, it's just personal preference. Where is it? Driver's seat. I like to put a racing seat even though I'm not even sitting in it, and a racing wheel, and I usually go with like the Arnita Corsa one. But this, in my opinion, it's still NA, so it's not going to be very fast. It's got the stock exhaust on it, but once we get inside, go to that driver's perspective. This car should be about all you need to really get started. So here in a second, I'm going to go to the skid pad, and I'm going to start going over some techniques with you guys about how to kind of get started drifting. So at this point, you now have your kind of basic little drift car, and the glory of this thing is you didn't really have to put too much thought into it. A lot of the parts are just like straight off the shelf, not much tuning. And go to the driver's view now, and I'm not going to be able to link a whole track, but as you can see, most normal sized corners can be done with a little bit of an e-brake drag and clutch kick. Just kind of some low power drifting. It's kind of like stock with the diff or something onto it, which is basically exactly what this is. And it's torquey. So let me start with some introductory drift tactics. First things first, everyone should start with the donut. So turn your wheel from a stop, rev it up about 5 or 6, hold it there, and let go of the edge and spin around, catch it, close to perfect circle. So try to shoot for a circle that's almost, about the same each time, and then your next step is going to be the figure 8, or starting the circle while moving. So you should just be getting used to catching the wheel once it spins the other direction. Now, this is where you're gonna focus on the figure 8. So drive forward. You're gonna come down here. You're gonna start your circle, and then when you start, then hold the wheel longer, like you would in the donut. Hold the wheel longer, and then when you get here, this is when you let go of it. I need a little bit more space. So we're gonna do the donut right, and then once you come around all the way, you simply gonna let the wheel's gonna have the natural tendency to want to spin the other way as long as you stay on throttle between the transitions. So right here, I'm gonna stay on the throttle all the way. Then I let off once I sense it's going the other way. Catch it, just like you would when you're modulating your circle. So at this point, you have the basics down, which are doing a circle, drifting, transitioning, hopefully. Obviously, it's probably not going to be as quick like that for you, but I kind of just want to serve that more as an example. Now to get some actual drifting out of the way, find yourself a spot where you have a corner. It's about the size of this one. For me, once I caught where I wanted the angle to be, if you want to reduce the angle, turn the wheel farther. If you want to increase the angle, turn the wheel in, and then obviously vice versa. So now we're going to focus on a faint entry, and a lot of these I'm just going to be demoing, just because to explain them all in depth would be a little too much. So faint. Alright. And then we're gonna finish it with e-brake. Which basically you come in, pull, whenever you're ready to take on the rest of the corner, just dump that clutch. Make sure you have it revved high enough first. And I'm gonna start the faint one more time, just real quick. So go out, and on basically the second that you transition back to in, don't mess that one up, but you get the idea, is when you're going to want to kick the clutch, as they say. So all you're going to do is just tap it real quick with your foot to the fork, like so. And then maybe try implementing some of the transition shit that you did earlier. Really just try to lock that down. Because once you've done the figure 8, the transition is just a matter of time and place, and judging when you want to catch and feed the wheel. So this car, since it's not perfect, it can be a little bit of a handful, but it's a good way to get started. And I think those are some beginner techniques that you should start with.